Moving on, we're going to talk about pendular motion, which is another example of slow motion vibration. So with pendular motion, we have the force of inertia and we have a restoring force. But at this time, the restoring force is not elasticity, it's the restoring force of gravity, but the concept is the same. So again, we have two forces, inertia and gravity. At equilibrium, the restoring force is zero because the pendulum is home and happy. But the force of inertia is at its greatest. Now at maximum displacement, motion momentarily halts and the force of inertia is zero. But the force of restoring to equilibrium is at its greatest because the further the pendulum is away from equilibrium, the more it wants to get home. So at maximum displacement, the force of inertia is zero and the restoring force of gravity is at a maximum. And it will go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. You can think about this like the pirate ship that you go on at an amusement park. So when is the pirate ship most fun? When inertia is the greatest, when you're flying through equilibrium. Motion momentarily halts when you're at maximum displacement. So, momentum. Momentum is a capital M. It is defined as the product of mass, little m, and velocity. So big M, momentum, equals mass times velocity. Why does the pendulum gain momentum as it approaches equilibrium? Momentum is directly proportional to both mass, the amount of matter present, and velocity, the time rate change in displacement. So as either mass or velocity increases, momentum is going to increase. Velocity is at a max when the pendulum is flying through equilibrium. Momentum is at a max when the pendulum is flying through equilibrium. Both velocity and momentum are zero at maximum displacement when the pendulum stops moving to change directions. A large car traveling with the same velocity as a smaller car has greater momentum because it has greater mass. Similarly, if two cars have identical mass, the momentum is greater for the car traveling at the greater velocity. So with the pendulum, velocity and momentum are zero at maximum displacement and are maximum at equilibrium. So why does the pendulum gain momentum as it moves back towards equilibrium? It's not because the mass is changing, it's because the velocity is changing. The velocity of the motion is increasing. Remember, when you're on that pirate ride, it's most fun as you're approaching equilibrium. That's when the velocity is the greatest and the momentum's the greatest.